Hello guys, and welcome to another sewing tutorial. My name is Ihoma Judith, and today I'll be showing you guys how to make this trending Ankara baggy or jumbo pants. These pants are so comfortable. I made mine and decided to show you how I did it. So this pants has two side pockets, as you can see, and we're making use of an elastic waistband and a rope. So if this is something you're interested in, if this is something you love to know how to do, then let's get right into the video. So my Ankara is on fold, but you know that the normal length of an Ankara fabric is 45 inches. But because the length I'm working with is more than 45 inches, I folded it into two the other way around. Do you understand? So I started first by drawing a straight line on my pattern paper. This is going to serve as the starting point. So from the starting point, I went down by 2 inches across my fabric like so, and with my ruler I went ahead to draw a straight line. So this is where our actual waistline is going to start from. All right, so the 2 inches space that I gave is going to be for folding in our band. So if you want your band gap to be at 1.5 inches, that's good for you, but I decided to use 2 inches. All right, so the next measurement I'll be taking is my waist to hip measurement, and my waist to hip is 9 inches. And I went ahead and marked across my fabric, and with my ruler I drew a straight line. Remember that I took my waist to hip measurement from that actual waistline, that is the second line, okay, not on the starting point. Now the next measurement I'll be taking is my waist to crotch measurement. So my waist to crotch is 12 inches, so I went ahead and marked 12 inches across my fabric like so, and with my ruler I went ahead to draw a straight line. So the next measurement I'll be taking is my full length measurement. So on the waistline I'm going to go down by 46 inches, which is my full length measurement, and mark across my fabric. So remember, your full length measurement will be taken from the waistline and not the starting line. So the waistline, which is our second line, I'm going to go down to 46 inches, which is my full length, and I marked. And with my ruler I went ahead to draw a straight line. So the next measurement now I'll be taking is my hem allowance or my folding allowance. So from that full length measurement I went down by 2 inches and mark across my fabric, and with my ruler I went ahead to draw a straight line. And now we are done with our vertical measurement. So the next thing now we are going to do is we are going to go to our crotch line and mark our hip round measurement divided by 4 plus 6 inches. So my hip round is 44 inches. Divided by 4, I will get 11 inches plus 6 inches, which is 17. So I went ahead and marked 17 inches. That's because I want my trouser to be very free. So you can go ahead and reduce the 6 inches to 5 inches, 4 inches, 3 inches, depending on how free or how fitted you want your baggy pants to be. All right, so I marked 17 inches on my crotch line, on my hip line, on my waistline, and also on my starting line. All right, so after that I went ahead with my ruler to draw a straight line connecting the lines that I marked together. All right, so I'm just extending the lines that I drew earlier because they were short, so nothing special. So next is to go ahead and create our crotch curve. So on my crotch line I went out by 3 inches from that vertical line that I drew, and I'm going to go ahead and create a curve from our hip line, the vertical line on our hip line, down to that 3 inches that I marked at our crotch depth. Okay, so the formula for your crotch curve is your hip round measurement divided by 4, and whatever you get also you divide it by 4, and that will be the length for your crotch curve. So now I'm going to take the full measurement of what I got at my crotch length, that is including the 3 inches that we went out by, and it is 20 inches. So I'm going to go ahead and mark 20 inches down to my full length. All right, so I have marked it on my full length and on my folding allowance, and with my ruler I'm going to go ahead and connect a straight line. Okay, so this is going to be how big and wide my trouser is going to be. So after I was done, I'm going to go ahead now and cut out my pattern. And if you notice, I'm starting from our starting line, okay? So go ahead and start from the starting line. So this pattern that we are cutting is going to be the front piece of our trouser, all right? So with my scissors, of course, I went ahead to trace out the pattern. And if you notice also on the down part, I went and cut from the full length allowance, not on the actual full length, all right? So if you go ahead and do this, we're going to get our front piece pattern, all right? So now the next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and create notches where I want my pocket to be. So from the waistline, as you can see, I'm going to go ahead and mark at 3 inches. That will be where our pocket is going to start from, and from that 3 inches mark, I'm going to go down by 7 inches and also mark. So on that lines that I mark, I went ahead to create a notch of about 1/2 inch, all right? So now the next thing I'm going to do is I'll go ahead and open up my fabric. So remember that our fabric was cut on fold, all right? So I'll go ahead and open it up as I'm doing like this, and with that, our 2 front piece is ready. So now the next thing we are going to do is to cut our back piece. So like we did earlier, we are going to go ahead and fold the fabric into 2 like this. And I placed my front piece on my fabric like so. So for the fabric for your back piece, make sure that it's higher than the front piece by at least 1 inches or 1.5 inches, all right? So on the crotch line, I'm going to go out by 2 inches. So here I'm just extending the starting line to meet that 2 inches mark, and I went up by 1 inch, as you can see. And from that 1 inches now, I'm going to go ahead and connect it to the starting line at our front piece. And you're going to get a curve like this. So on the starting line, we went up by 1 inch. And from our crotch depth down, we went out by 2 inches, as you seeing it. So you go ahead and do the same. So I'm going to go ahead and mark 2 inches all the way down to our full length, and basically that is just the difference between the front piece and our back piece, all right? So now the next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead now and connect those lines that I marked, all right? So with my chalk, I'm going to go ahead and trace out that line that I marked. So here I'm just going to make sure that at that crotch length is at that 2 inches mark that I gave, all right? And I'm going to go ahead and connect it. And with my chalk, I'm going to go ahead and connect the rest of the lines, okay? So now after I was done, as you can see, so I'm going to go ahead now with my scissors and cut off the lines that I mark. So our back piece is usually bigger than the front piece, just because the back of our bum is always bigger than the front, all right? So that is basically the difference. So now I'm going to go ahead and open up the center part of our back piece, all right? Remember, we also cut the back piece on fold. So I'll go ahead and open it up. And that will be all for our back piece cutting. So now the next thing we are going to do is to go ahead and cut our pockets. So here I went ahead to cut my pocket, and I'm using the length of 13.5, and I'm going to be using the width of 8 inches on fold, all right? So I went ahead to cut 2 pockets at length 13.5, and the width is 8 inches on fold. That means if you open it up, the width will be 16 inches, all right? So now the next thing I'm going to do is I'll go ahead and open up my piece I'll be using for my pocket, and I'm going to be placing it right side facing the right side, all right? And after that, on that vertical line, I'm going to be marking on one side of my fabric, and I went down by 2.5 inches and I marked, and from that 2.5 inches mark, I went down by 7 inches. So that place is going to be where our pocket opening is going to be, and with my scissors, I'm going to go ahead and create a notch of about 1/2 inch on both sides. So after that, I'm going to go ahead and fold my fabric into 2 like it was before, and this is going to help me create my pocket curve, and our curve is going to be after that 7 inches mark that we created. So remember, the up part of our pocket is the 2.5 inches, while the down part of our pocket is where we marked our 7 inches. And with my chalk, I'm going to go ahead and create a curve. So my curve is going to start at 1 inches after the 7 inches mark that I created, and I'm going to go ahead and create a curve. I hope you're understanding. And with my scissors, I'm going to go ahead and follow up the curve that we created like so. And with that, our pocket piece is ready. Very simple. So now the next thing we are going to go ahead and do is to bring the front piece of our trouser like so. And we are going to be placing one of the piece of our pocket on one side of our front piece, right side facing the right side. And make sure that the up side of our pocket is facing the up, while the curved side of our pocket is down like this. And I'm going to go ahead and place it properly, making sure that the notches meet each other. Remember that we notched the front part of our trouser, so we make sure that the pocket, that the side that we notched is meeting the side of the pocket that we notched, as you can see. And go ahead and sew 1/2 inch between the lines that we notched. Make sure that your sewing does not exceed that line that we notched, okay? So I'll go ahead and sew it and show you how it's going to look like. All right? Okay, so I've gone ahead and sew by 1/2 inch on that line, and as you can see, our sewing did not exceed the notches. So now I'm going to turn over my pocket piece like this. As you can see it, I've turned it over, and the both places that we notched, you're going to go ahead and open it up like this. And if you open them up, you're going to be getting something like this. So you go ahead and properly balance it up very well. And as you can see, that place that we sewed by 1/2 inch is closed like this. So now that we have gotten something like this, we are now going to go ahead and sew along that line in between the places that we notched. So you go ahead and sew a straight line like so. Make sure you do not exceed that place that we notched, okay? So I'll go ahead and sew mine and show you how it looks like. So as you can see, I've gone ahead and I've sewed in between those lines that we notched, okay? So next, you're going to place it properly like this, as you can see. Then you're going to now pick the other end of your pocket and you're going to fold it like this. So you're going to fold it equally like this, as you can see. And if you turn it over, you'll be getting something like this. So if you noticed, that other end of our pocket have covered that 1/2 inch that we sewed in. All right, so now the next thing we're going to do is we are going to sew down the pocket after the notch. Are you seeing the places I'm showing you? So you're going to go ahead and sew down the pocket after the place that we notched. All right, so this is going to help hold the pocket and the front piece together. All right, so I've gone ahead and I've stitched it down, and I'm just showing you how it looks like, okay? So that places that we stitched has helped us to hold the pocket and our front piece together. All right, so the next thing is to close down the opening at the downside of our pocket. So positioning your front piece like this, you're going to go ahead and raise the downside of your pocket like I'm doing, and I'm going to go ahead and create a tiny notch like about 1/2 inch. All right, so now that we have created our notch, we're going to go ahead and put our hands inside the pocket. Are you seeing what I'm doing? And I'm going to bring out the pocket. Are you seeing it? Then from that place that we notched, go to that place that we notched. All right, are you seeing it? Place the both sides that we notched together like this, as you can see. And from that place that we notched, I'm going to go ahead and sew 1/2 inch round the downside of our pocket twice. All right, so I've gone ahead and I've stitched down mine twice, as you can see. So now I'm going to go ahead and pull out my pocket back, place it properly as it's supposed to be, and as you can see, the downside of our pocket is closed, giving it a neat and clean finished look. All right, so you go ahead and do the same, and if you notice, fixing of a pocket is as simple as it could get. All right, so now that we are done, I'm going to go ahead and do the same for the other side of my pocket off camera. Okay, so I've gone ahead and I've fixed the other side of my pocket. So I'm going to be having two pockets that is going to be on the left and the right side of my front trouser. All right, so you go ahead and do the same for yours. All right, so now that we are done, the next thing we are going to do is to join the front piece together. All right, so you're going to place the front piece together, right side facing the right side, and we are going to do the joining at the crotch line. All right, so on the starting line I went down by 2 inches, as you can see, and from that 2 inches mark I went down by 1 inches. Okay, so I'm going to be joining the two front piece by 1 inch. Then I'm going to skip that 1 inch space that I gave and continue sewing down by 1 inches straight down. So with my chalk, I'm going to go ahead and connect the lines that I mark. Okay, so I'm going to explain it better for you to understand. I placed my two front piece right side facing the right side, and I'm going to sew by 1 inch straight down to that 2 inches mark that we created, and I'm going to give a space of 1 inch and sew from that 1 inch space straight down, leaving about 2 inches from the bottom part. All right, so I've gone ahead and I've sewn mine, and this is how it's going to look like. Okay, so here I'm showing you the 2 inches space that I left at the bottom side, so go ahead and leave yours like that. So the next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and open up my front piece. As you can see, I am opening it up at the back side, and you're going to be getting something like this. So remember that we joined the front piece together by 1 inch. Okay, and if you open it up, see that 1 inch space that we gave. As you can see, this is going to be where our elastic and rope is going to pass through. So the next thing that we are going to do is we are going to fold both sides by 1/2 inch like this, and you're going to sew along these lines that I've marked with my chalk. So you go ahead and sew a straight line down to that 1 inch space that we gave earlier, as you can see, and you're going to sew below that line, of course, and you're going to go ahead and sew straight up. Okay, and you're also going to go and sew above the 1 inch line. So please follow the way I am showing you on the video, and you're going to come out with the exact results. So I've gone ahead and I've sewed down mine that same way, and now the next thing I'm going to go ahead and do is to join the back piece to the front piece. Okay, so next, right side facing the right side, I'm going to join the back piece to my front piece. As you can see, right side facing the right side, so I'm going to go ahead and join it at the hip line. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and sew by 1/2 inch straight down. And also, when sewing on the sides, remember not to close the main side of our pocket. Don't close this main side. Sew by 1/2 inch on the other side of the pocket. Okay, so you place it properly, right side facing the right side, and go ahead and sew 1/2 inch straight down. So you go ahead and do the same for the other part. All right, so I'll go ahead and do mine and show you how it looks like. So I've gone ahead and I've stitched mine by 1/2 inch. And if I open it up, you're going to be getting something like this. And notice how I did not close the main side of our pocket. As you can see, I did not close it down. I stitched down the other side of the pocket, and I also went ahead and did the same for my other side of my pants. So as you can see, I stitched it down by 1/2 inch, of course. And if you open it up, you notice I did not close the main side of our pocket, as you can see. And that's all for the pocket. Are you seeing it? Very simple. So now the next thing we are going to do is to go ahead and join the two back pieces together. So as you can see, this is the back side of my crotch, and I'm going to go ahead and bring the other back side of my crotch, and I'm going to place it together like this, right side facing the right side, and I'm going to go ahead and sew straight down by 1 inch. So with my tape and chalk, I'm going to go ahead and trace out the 1 inch line that I'll be going with, and I'm also going to mark 2 inches from that down part where I'll be stopping, and I'm going to mark 1 inch there. So I'll go ahead and sew 1 inch straight down like so, and I'm going to stop at that 2 inches mark that I gave on the bottom side. All right, so I'll go to my sewing machine and sew on that straight line that I've created, and I'm going to go ahead and sew twice. Okay, so I've gone ahead and I've stitched down twice on that line, and notice that I gave a space of 2 inches at the down part. Okay, so now the next thing we are going to do is to go ahead and fold our waistband. So remember that we gave 2 inches space for our waistband, so we are going to go ahead and fold it in. So here I'm measuring that 2 inches to make sure it's at that 2 inches. Then I'm going to go ahead and fold 1/2 inch on the edge like this, and on that edge you're going to go ahead and sew straight down. All right, so you go ahead and fold your waistband by 2 inches, and you're going to go ahead and fold it in at the edge, and you're going to go ahead and sew straight down, and you're going to repeat the process all around the waistline. Okay, so now I'm going to go ahead and do mine. So as you can see, I've gone ahead and I've folded my waistline by 2 inches all around, as you can see. And if you notice, the pocket is facing each other, so make sure your pocket is facing each other, that is towards the front piece of our pants. All right, so now the next thing we are going to do, we are going to go ahead and fold down the down part or the hem of our trouser. So remember, we gave 2 inches at the hem of our trouser, so we are going to go ahead and fold the hem of our trouser by 2 inches, and we are going to go ahead and fold the edge, just like we are repeating the same thing that we did at the waistline. So if you fold the hem of your trouser by 2 inches, then you fold the edge, then go ahead and sew straight down. So you go ahead and do the same for the 2 hems of our trouser. So I've gone ahead and I've folded my hem or down part of my trouser. So the next thing that we are going to do is to go ahead and close down the other end of our trouser. So I'll go ahead and pick one side of our trouser like this. And if you notice, what we are doing is we are joining the front and the back piece at the other end. So you're going to go ahead and place it up, balance it properly, and you're going to sew from the hemline straight up to the crotch by 1 inch. And remember, right side facing the right side. And we are going to go ahead and repeat the same on the other side of our trouser. Okay, so I've gone ahead and I've closed both ends of my trouser by 1 inch. And now there's going to be a opening or a little space at that crotch depth. That is because of that 2 inches that we left earlier at the front crotch and at the back crotch. Okay, so now we are going to go ahead and join them together. So I'll go ahead and open up my trouser like this, and if you see the way I placed it, I made sure that the front crotch is facing towards the back crotch, and I'm going to go ahead and sew down that opening by 1 inch, connecting the front crotch to the back crotch. Okay, so I've gone ahead and I've closed down that opening by joining the front crotch to the back crotch, and as you can see, there's no more any opening. So like this, our trouser is 90% ready. So now the next thing we are going to do is to go ahead and put our elastic band on our waistline. Okay, so here I just turn over my trouser to the waistline where I'll be inserting my elastic. So I'll be working with a 1 inch elastic band, and to know the length of elastic band you'll be working with, just minus your actual waist round measurement by 3 inches. So here my waist round measurement is 33 inches, and I minus 3 inches from that 33 inches, and I got 30 inches. So I went ahead and cut my waistband at 30 inches by length. So I have fixed my safety pin at both ends of my elastic band, and I'm going to pick one side of that my elastic band, and I'm going to insert it to my waistband through that hole. So I'm going to go ahead and push it through till it comes out from the other end of our hole, while making sure that the other end of the elastic band does not disappear into the waistband from that same hole. So I've gone ahead and I've pulled out my elastic band, as you can see, and I'm going to join them together and sew by 1/2 inch. So I've gone ahead and I've sewed it together by 1/2 inch, and that 1/2 inch space I just pressed it down to one end of our elastic. That's just an extra step. Okay, so I'll go ahead now and push in the elastic to go completely inside the hole that we created at the waistband. So you go ahead and balance the elastic properly like this. So now the next thing we are going to go ahead and do is to create our rope. So this part is optional, so you go ahead and cut a long piece of your fabric like so, and you're going to go ahead and sew down the edge of the fabric. Okay, so the width I'll be working with is around 1.7, so you can go ahead and make yours at that 1.7, or if you want a smaller rope you can go ahead and make yours at 1.5. So after that I'll show you how to just fold in our rope. So you're going to go ahead and pick one end of the rope, and you're going to fold in the both sides by 1/2 inch, and you're going to fold one side again by 1/2 inch and sew straight down like I'm showing you. So you fold both sides by 1/2 inch and fold down one end, okay, and sew straight down. And with that, our rope is created. Very simple. So I've gone ahead and I've created my rope like this. So next I'm going to go ahead and fix it into my trouser waistline. So I'm going to go ahead and fix my safety pin at one end of my rope, and I'm going to insert it into my waistline through that hole, and I'm going to pull it out till it comes out from the other end of the hole, basically the same way we fixed our elastic into the waistband. So I've gone ahead and I've pulled it out, as you can see, and with that our trouser is ready. So I'm going to go ahead and iron it and put it on, and you're going to see how it looks like on me. Alright guys, I've gone ahead and I've ironed it, and this is what it looks like on me, and I paired it with this very cute crop top. I will also drop a link on the tutorial of how I made this crop top. Alright, so if you enjoyed this video, if you found this video helpful, please like, comment and subscribe if you're not subscribed to the channel, and also share to your friends and family, as it will serve as a motivation for me. And until my next video, bye bye.